One of the most significant steps in the process of evolution is the making of the spine or the vertebrae. You're standing, sitting, running, doing whatever you want, but you are conscious where your spine is all the time, because this determines how sensitive you are to life. Human spine is seen as the center of the universe and also the axis of the universe, depending upon how sensitive you make it. Wherever it is, whichever part of the world it is, the basic spiritual process comes from this spine. If you take all the vital organs in your body, only if you sit like this, with your spine erect, your organs are at maximum comfort. All individual human experience is essentially generated and transmitted through the spine. Travel is a time when spine takes maximum beating due to inconvenient postures that the body may have to take for long hours. Most people, when stressed, will notice stiffness in the upper part of the spine and the lower or lumbar part of the spine.
Your spine is the axis of the universe and the basis of your experience is in your spine. Spine itself doesn't know anything, but it is conducting everything.
Now you need to understand this. If there's something called as muscular comfort, skeletal comfort, organ comfort, muscular and skeletal comfort is largely just comfort it is. It is needed at some times, but your organs should be comfortable for you to be healthy. If you take all the vital organs in your body, I'm putting it in a very simplistic way, all these vital organs in your body, they are not fixed with clamps and nuts and bolts. They're hanging in nets like this. Only if you sit like this, with your spine erect, your organs are at maximum comfort. You sit like this, they collapse one on top of each other. Now, how do they function well? They will not function well. So in a day, if you're sitting like this for 8–10 hours, you're asking for it. You're just asking for it. It's like you want to drive your car on two wheels. One day if you flip around to show off, it's okay. Every day if you drive like this, it's not going to last.
Whatever the experience of life, whether it's light or sound or taste or smell or sensation, whatever the form of experience of pain or pleasure, every experience that you have is essentially conducted through your spine. If spine is taken away or what passes through the spine is in some way dislocated, there will be no experience. We've always symbolized the spine as the axis of the universe because essentially you know the universe only from the context of your experience. There is no other way to know it. You do not know anything in this world without the context of your experience. It's only by what's happening within you, you know, or you think you know. Because you know the existence only by the context of your experience, and the basis of your experience is what is being conducted through your spine right now. Spine is seen as the axis of the universe. Today we know that the whole solar system is just a small blob in this cosmos. Tomorrow morning, if this whole solar system evaporates, there'll be no great vacuum, just one little empty space. The rest of the cosmos will not even notice it. That's how insignificant it is. In yoga, they went to a different dimension and said, your spine is the axis of the universe. They're not saying this because they believe that you are in the center of the universe. You are capable of knowing the universe only from the context of your experience. And the basis of your experience is in your spine. If any individual has to truly determine the nature of his experience on this planet 100%, then having a little bit of mastery over the spine becomes essential. Only that one who anyway determines the nature of his experience would dare to explore the full potential of his life because he wouldn't hesitate to step into anything. If your experience is determined by anything other than yourself, naturally you'll try to avoid a few things and go after a few things. Only if you are determining the nature of your experience, you can keep it pleasant within yourself no matter where you are. If people cause unpleasantness, they can do it only around you, never within you. Once this freedom is there, it's only then you can truly be inclusive, otherwise you get stuck. Every little sound that you hear, see if you can conduct it through your spine. Everything that you see, see if you can conduct it through your spine. Right now, I'm speaking, the sound itself is not flowing through this wire, but in the form of electrical impulse. It is going through this wire, through the speakers and boom. If I get this, that's not going to work, this is not going to work. Spine is just like this. Spine itself doesn't know anything, but it is conducting everything. Only the one who understands that all this bunch of wires out there can manage this sound properly, how it should be. We've been having some trouble, because too many wires. Only if you understand every wire that's out there, you can manage this sound just the way you want it. Otherwise, in between so many things will happen. The same with this one. If you have a little mastery over how it's being conducted, then you can ensure what kind of experience you're producing for yourself. Otherwise, everything becomes accidental. Once the very experience of your life is happening accidentally, once your very way of being is accidental, if you're existing here accidentally, then that's like being a potential calamity. Just the fear, what'll happen to me, what'll happen to me, destroys everything.
So, the evolutionary process, the modern neurology recognizes that there is a part of your brain which is reptilian. That means it's at that stage of development, which is instinctive and does things in a certain way. But over that, a flower of cerebral cortex evolved. If you function out of this, which is a happening which happened after human spine became erect. After the human spine became erect, the outer flower developed, which is what makes you human, which is what gives you thoughts about universality of the existence, which is what gives you an idea that everything is one, which is what allows you to be a scientist. This is what allows you to be a spiritual seeker. But if you go back to this, all you have is instincts of survival. I know many people just carrying this little body, already the spine is hurting. Axis of the universe. Terrible. Why we're calling this the axis of the universe is, human experience is transmitted largely through the spine. Because it's transmitted through the spine and our experience is the basis of the universe for us. How do we know there is a world around us? Only because we see, hear, smell, taste and touch. All that is being transmitted through our spine. So, universe exists not because it is there. It exists for us only the way we perceive it. Maybe an earthworm doesn't know there is a moon. Most probably he doesn't know. He definitely knows there is a sun, I know. But he may not know there is a moon because it may not have any relevance for him. A bird may not know there is a cosmos and he doesn't care probably. But we know all this simply because of our enhanced perception, and this perception is being transmitted. In the process of evolution, one of the most significant steps is… I'm sorry, I'm talking to doctors, but… one of the most significant steps in the process of evolution is the making of the spine or the vertebrae. Why such a thing happened is, when our neurological system started evolving, somewhere the intelligence of life realized it needs protection. When we say our visual apparatus, this is a very complex eye. It is able to distinguish minutest differences in many things which most other creatures on the planet cannot do. The first… even now this sea life exists, there are certain fish in whom there are photosensitive cells. They can just sense there is light, they cannot see anything. That's the first eye. It's being taken as the first evolutionary eye, must be this fish, because it can see light and darkness, that's all. From there, these sensory organs, these neurological developments have been phenomenal. And the richness of our experience is mainly because of the sensitivity of our neurological system. This needed protection, it needed a conduit, so the spine came up. Another significant aspect of ecological process is, from a horizontal spine, it became a vertical spine. So in yoga, there's a whole system of yoga just training you how you can keep your spine erect, to be aligned always. You're standing, sitting, running, doing whatever you want, but you are conscious where your spine is all the time, because this determines how sensitive you are to life, because your whole experience of life is being transmitted. And our experience of the universe is just the way we experience it, we don't know any other way. Because of that, this is the center of the universe. In the sense, it's like this. See, now this hall, we can see the walls. Now, we can say which is the center of this hall, either that one or this one, we can debate a little bit. But when you cannot see the boundaries of this hall, this is universe, you cannot see the boundaries, I can fix the center wherever I want. Wherever there is intensity of experience, that's my center. So, human spine is seen as the center of the universe and also the axis of the universe. Depending upon how sensitive you make it, accordingly the enlargement of your experience, the enhancement of your experience of life happens, your perception is enhanced beyond your sense perception.
Spine being the neuroconductor, it is of extreme importance. It is kept stress-free and well activated for overall well-being. Travel is a time when spine takes maximum beating due to inconvenient postures that the body may have to take for long hours. In the yogic system, the spine is referred to as the Merudanda or the axis of your universe, as all individual human experience is essentially generated and transmitted through the spine. It is general experience that most people, when stressed, will notice stiffness in the upper part of the spine or the neck and the lower or lumbar part of the spine. Taking special care regarding these two aspects of the spine could greatly relieve the stress that tends to manifest in the form of spinal stiffness, which could further snowball into more serious problems of the spine. The greatest factor of stress during international travel is jet lag or confusion in the physical and energy system about the time zone into which you have traveled. This confusion in your biological clock could be stabilized by exposing your spine to sunlight either directly or through thin clothing for a minimum of 20 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. This, along with other tools of Upayoga, could largely handle and minimize the period of jet lag.
Mahashivratri is of significance because of the planetary situation. So, Mahashivratri is relevant for every life that's upon this planet. When I say every life, if you are a worm, an insect, a bird, a tree, an animal, particularly if you are a human being, because to benefit, to really benefit, you need a vertical spine. Fortunately, we, the human beings, are the only ones who have attained to this possibility of keeping our spines vertical when we wish to. Those of you who've gone down, wherever you are, time to keep it erect. Because on this day, there is a natural upsurge of energy. Doesn't matter what religion you belong to, what culture you belong to, if you have a spine and it is vertical, you can immensely benefit.
Of all the Shivaratris, the Shivaratri that appears in the month of Magha during February-March is known as the Mahashivaratri or the Great Night of Shiva. In the northern hemisphere on this planet, on that day, there is a natural upsurge of energy within the human system. Every life form experiences a certain upsurge of energies within themselves. This upsurge of energies can be truly made use of only by those creatures who have their spine erect. Our fortune of being human is we are the only species here who have graduated to that level of an erect spine. If you look at the evolutionary development of various species, you will notice that moving from invertebrate to vertebrate is one significant step. And another significant step in the evolutionary process is a spine moving from horizontal positions to vertical position. The true development of the brain happened only after the spine became vertical. As on Mahashivaratri night, there is a natural upsurge of energies. Keeping the spine vertical throughout the night has immense benefits. It is of great benefit, particularly to those on the spiritual path. But this is also significant for people who are in family situations and also for the ambitious in the world.
I really don't know what a chiropractic does, I'm not aware of it. I just see the boards, chiropractic clinic, I just inquired what this is and whatever people have told me, that's all. I really don't know what they do. But whatever they may be doing, their knowledge of the spine is from the outside. By studying, that's how they know the spine. So when that is all the knowledge is, the best thing to do is only to help somebody who's all messed up in his spine to just relax. Trying to do anything more than that to the spine would not be good. All that is happening for most people is by improper attitudes, improper energy, improper postures. Spine tends to contract, it should be like this, but it tends to sit back and sometimes grate upon each other and create tension and pain, nervous pain, sometimes very excruciating pain. So, if you can help a person to relax and stretch out his spine, it's fine. But too much meddling with the spine, is not good. In yoga, we have what is called as Anga Mardana. Anga Mardana literally means… Anga means the limbs or the body parts. Mardana means to kill the body parts. So if you do Anga Mardana, then everything in you will disappear from your experience except your spine. Only the back of your head and your spine will be still in your experience, rest of it will be like not in your experience. Like some of you are seeing when you sit for shunya, your hands and legs seem to be missing. So the whole body will be missing except the spine. So when you get a person into such conditions, then there are many things you can do with the spine. But that is not to be attempted in a chiropractic clinic, it needs a completely different atmosphere. It's not medical, it's not a physical or medical thing, it's a different dimension. I think a chiropractic could help a person to relax his spine.
I don't sit like this all the time, only when I speak. How I am sitting, if I have to explain, there are many aspects to it. One simple aspect is the left heel. There is a point on the left heel that today the medical sciences are calling it as the Achilles. You heard of the man, Achilles? You put your Achilles to what is called as Muladhara or the perineum in your body. If these two things touch, many aspects are cleared out in you for that period of time. Your thoughts are clear, your emotions are out, and there is a very clear perception of what's happening around you. You heard that Achilles was killed because an arrow was shot to his heel. You don't believe if somebody hurts your heel, you will die, isn't it so? But Achilles died that way. And there's another person who died that way in India way before him. He also died this way. What this is trying to tell you is, they were killed in an expert way, not just slitting your throat or breaking your head, but just putting a point at the Achilles, so they had to die. So there is a certain system, energy system in the body. If that point of Achilles is in touch with your Muladhara, when you sit like this, there is a certain balance, that you don't take any sides. It's a certain geometry of the body. Right now, the Western cultures are going about propagating yoga is another stretching exercise. Instead of that, you can do Pilates, instead of that, you can do boxing, instead of that, you can play tennis. See, if you want to be just fit, go run somewhere, climb a mountain, play tennis, do something. Yoga is not about fitness. Fitness is just one consequence. The important thing is to get the right geometry of life, because physical universe is all geometry. Now this building is standing here, how long it will stand, whether it will fall on our head today or will it stand for a long time, essentially depends on how geometrically perfect it is. The same goes for the body, the same goes for the planetary system, the same goes for the universe, the same goes for everything. Planet Earth is going around the sun, not with a steel cable attached to it, just perfection of geometry. If little off geometry, if it happens, it's gone forever. And that's true with you also. If you go off your fundamental geometry, you're gone. It's very important at an early age, you do the right things to bring a right sense of geometry, you become competent to go through life.
The spine is not just a physical substance, it is a communication network, a serious communication network. If you lose it, or if it becomes insensitive, you're just losing something phenomenal. It is the basis of communication that's happening in the system. The spine is not just one single piece, it's many complex assembly. Every day it needs to stretch. If it telescopes into one into another, then the communication capability in the spine is hugely lost.
Yoga Namaskar is a very simple and complete process by itself.
A natural upsurge of energy will happen if you just keep your feet together and sit down in a squat. So the squat is best if you can put your feet together and squat. We don't want too much energy to happen, so the next best stance is to keep your feet in line with your shoulders, just the same width as your shoulders. 21 is a good number to do. If you cannot do that, start with 7. Every 2 days, 1 extra. If you do, in about 40 days, you will be at 21. You will see it'll make a phenomenal difference in the way you function. If there is some way to gauge your intelligence, the sharpness of your intellect, you can see a difference happening just because you're doing a simple few things to relax and activate the spine.